Growing up in my household was like a sitcom waiting to happen. Whenever my friends would come over as a kid, it never failed. Upon stepping into my house, they always walked into a multicultural scene. Korean gospel music blaring, my Korean mom singing along at the top of her lungs while doing this low squat in front of a gigantic bowl, actually about the size of a small swimming pool, making kimchi. I'd then quickly lead my friends out the back so we could escape the fermented cabbage smell, only to find my Caucasian dad working out in the backyard with a beer in hand, listening to some patriotic country music. My friends, they never quite knew what to think or how to react to all of this. But growing up biracial in a culturally diverse household was just everyday life for me. As I grew older, dealing with my mixed heritage got harder. I felt unsure about who I was and pressure to fit in. And in that search for acceptance, I made a few poor choices that landed me in the foster care system. I can still vividly remember. It was 10th grade, a Friday night, and I was just getting home from the county fair. Walking into the house, as soon as I entered my bedroom, my foster brother anxiously joined me, and I immediately began diving into the details on everything that went down that night with our high school friends. There we were, laughing and talking about our classmates until the early morning hours, until we both fell asleep in my room. Bam! All of a sudden, our foster mother walked in, and a whirlwind of accusations followed. Never once even considering the possibility that it was merely an innocent accident. This continued for weeks, with rigid rules being implemented and snide remarks. Rumors and whispers that come with the territory of being a foster kid. A label accompanied by judgment and mistrust. So what did I do when the weight became unbearable? I ran. And for the next few years after being emancipated, I was just trying my best to navigate a world where I didn't feel like I fit in. Juggling work while trying to pursue an education, when a pivotal moment happened that completely changed the trajectory of my life. Sitting in my room, I put my hand on my stomach. I couldn't believe what I was feeling. Baby? What am I going to do with a baby at 19? As the tears streamed down my face, the reality of what this meant for my future quickly came crashing in. I didn't have a background to succeed in college. In the United States, statistics show that only about half of children that enter the foster care system graduate from high school, and less than 5% go on to earn a college degree. Now, with the added challenge of becoming a single mother, the odds were stacked against me. For months, I thought long and hard about my situation. What could I do to defy these statistics and create a better future? And then one day, I sat down and I began to write. It felt like a breath of fresh air amidst all the chaos. As I scribbled down my hopes and dreams, I found myself painting a picture of my future. I could almost taste the excitement as it all came together. Imagining my son attending a top-quality public school system, residing in a neighborhood that would represent the American dream, and envisioning our home filled with pets. Lots of pets. I didn't have all the answers yet on how to get there. So I left some space to come back so I could fill it in later. What I wrote down became my goals. And without my knowledge, I found myself building a strategic plan. Now, writing down my goals was just the first step. Next, I had to take action to achieve them. But our beliefs about what we can achieve can be influenced by how we see ourselves based upon our life experiences and how society sees us. And it was like society's expectations were whispering in my ear, "You don't fit the mold for success." When someone tells you that you can't do something, you have a choice. Let their words hold you back, or use every ounce of energy you have on moving forward. For me, I chose the latter, and I started checking off one goal after another, and that felt amazing. Every little win boosting my confidence, until the next thing you know, I became the first person in my family to graduate from college, purchase my first home in the heart of Silicon Valley, and go on to climb the corporate ladder. Dealing with doubters, or what some of you may call haters, is one thing. But dealing with our own inner critic can be even harder. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy, and we reject ourselves, thinking we will fail or we're not good enough before we even try. But we can overcome our self-rejection to build our confidence by stepping outside of our comfort zones. And through perseverance, we can find strength, even in moments of uncertainty. Committing to an Ironman was one of the ways I chose to confront these limits. Now, an Ironman triathlon starts with a 2.4-mile swim, followed by a 112-mile bike ride, and then finishes with a marathon, which is 26.2 miles of running. Despite having only 10 months to train and no prior triathlon experience, I made a bold decision to sign up. Many thought I was crazy, especially since I didn't know how to swim. But by seeking guidance from a coach, tuning out the naysayers, and putting all of my energy into my training, I tackled every obstacle as they came. From overcoming my insecurities of swimming in the pool, to learning how to navigate current, swim in icy cold water, overcome my fear of marine life, to ultimately put all of this together and swim with thousands of people. All of this required me to step far outside my comfort zones to achieve my goal of becoming an Ironman. Hey, We all love a hero's journey. And when we redirect the energy we spend trying to fit in or to prove ourselves to others, by following these 3 steps, we can build the life that we truly desire, even when it means taking non-traditional paths to get there. So here's the steps. Step 1, begin by creating your strategic plan, your detailed action plan, and continue to refine it as you gain more insight into how to achieve your goals. Now, this step is important, so don't skip it. Research by Professor Gail Matthews at Dominican University revealed that when we set goals and we write them down versus just thinking about them, we increase our chances of success by 42%. Step 2, tune out the doubters and instead focus your attention on yourself and your plan. And step 3, don't self-reject. Boost your confidence by taking small steps of uncomfortable actions, by embracing a growth mindset. As Stanford researcher Carol Dweck teaches us, view learning, feedback, and even failure as opportunities to grow. And by embracing this mindset, we can move beyond the limits we set for ourselves. Everything changed for me when my son was born. That moment ignited a fire in me, pushing me to take action. But here's the thing. Every one of you has your own baby to nurture. Whether it's being the first in your family to graduate from college, achieving financial stability, starting your own company, or that one big, audacious goal you've always dreamed of achieving. The specifics don't matter. What counts is nurturing that aspiration. Look, we can do better than letting our past or our current circumstances define who we are and what we're capable of achieving. When we follow these 3 steps, building our strategic plan, tuning out the doubters, and refusing to self-reject, we can build a life that reflects our true potential. This week, make a date with yourself and grab your phone and pull up your notes app. Or grab a notebook and write down your dreams. Next, share your vision with your inner circle, a close friend, or a trusted family member. And then go out and begin to take action. When we dare to step into our own unique paths to success, we create a world where we can move mountains.